official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome to Rogers Center. Promises to be another sold-out house here. It's 24 degrees and perfect. No humidity in the air. It's very comfortable. Buck Showalter is in town. The Orioles are here for a 3-game series. We've not seen the Orioles since June 21st, and there have been some changes. Top of the order, Manny Machado is now playing shortstop as his third start at shortstop, and he's had success against Drew Hutchison, tonight's Blue Jays starter, 4 for 11, OPS over 1. And then Adam Jones, he has always hit well against the Blue Jays. He is an all-star, Gold Glover, and he has big numbers against the Blue Jays. 342 for Adam Jones.
It's a good lineup. They hit a lot of home runs. The Baltimore Orioles. They will face Drew Hutchison, who gets ready for his 26th start this season. He's had 11th career start now against the Baltimore Orioles, and he has not lost in 5 home starts versus Baltimore. Orioles have not scored more than 2 in any of those 5, and his 10 career starts, the most versus any club. Goes for win number 14 tonight as he faces the Orioles. He's got 11 of those wins right here at home.
That is one off the franchise record for wins in home starts. 3 pitchers have had 12-win seasons pitching at home for the Blue Jays over their franchise history. Manny Machado, we mentioned he's playing at shortstop. J.J. Hardy, the regular shortstop, is on the DL with a groin injury. Manny Machado hasn't missed a beat as he slides over to his natural position of shortstop. Hutchison is set. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. Just off the plate outside for ball 1. We are underway. Hutchison has done a terrific job this season making some adjustments. Ball is hit in the air, not deep. Pilar backs up a few steps. 1 up, 1 down for the Blue Jays. Defensively, since Troy Tulowitzki joined this ball club, the Blue Jays committed just 12 errors. Everything has gotten better. Ben Revere has taken over and left, done a terrific job. Pilar and Bautista center and right. Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Goins, and Chris Colabello. Colabello making his 22nd start at first. Russell Martin and Drew Hutchison make up the Blue Jays battery tonight.
This is the 30th start for the Blue Jays by Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. He's been steady. He's been flawless. Hasn't made an error. 129 total chances. 95 assists. 19 double plays. And he has handled every one of those without making an error.
This is Gerardo Parra, the right fielder. He was picked up by the Orioles at the trade deadline in July. And he's been a good addition. Hitting over 300 for the season. What did Buck Showalter say about Parra? Said he was a ball player.
Baseball player. You make a mistake, he could knock the ball out of the ballpark with his 14 home runs. He's a good hitter, too. Hitting over 300.
And Parra is a 2-time Gold Glover as well. Started his career with Arizona. Spent 6 years with the Diamondbacks and parts of 2 seasons in Milwaukee. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, pulled to first. Colabello will take the big hop. 2-down. First start of September for Drew Hutchison, and August was a very good month for him.
What a good month. Unblemished, if you will. 4-0 with an outstanding earned run average at 245. Opponents only hit 215 against Hutch in the month of August. He beat Minnesota, Oakland, the Yankees. There's the whip, under 1, and he also beat the Tigers, throwing 7 innings, and I thought he got better and better as the month went along. He was stronger. The strikeouts were going up. He had 23 strikeouts in those 4 games in the month of August.
Of course, Hutchison was sent down to the minor leagues for 1 start. Adam Jones takes a first pitch strike. Jones, one of the best players in all of baseball. He is a 2-way star. He can swing it, 24 home runs, and he is a 4-time Gold Glover in center. Broken bat, little dribbler right back to the mound. Drew Hutchison with a very efficient inning, just 8 pitches, and the Orioles are retired in order. 3 up, 3 down. Ben Revere. He has done a great job lately. Then Donaldson and Jose Bautista. Bautista against the Orioles this season is 11 for 33, a flat .333 average. He has 5 extra bases and 12 RBIs against the Orioles. He has always hit well against them. And how about Ryan Goins? Ryan Goins in the 8th spot tonight has a 12-game hit streak. That's a career high. He's hit .421 over that stretch, including a walk-off home run against Cleveland.
And hitting everything, and they will face Ubaldo Jimenez, who takes his 9-9 record to the mound for his 27th start of the season. Those 9 wins, that's first among Orioles pitchers this season. He's actually tied with a couple of his teammates. 3 pitchers with 9 wins. Jimenez is 2-1 versus the Blue Jays this year. The 2 wins were 2 of the finest pitch games against this Blue Jay offense that we have seen all season long.
Had a 9 strikeout outing against the Blue Jays earlier and struck out the top 4 in the order in that ball game 8 times. Jumps ahead of Ben Revere. Revere 0-1 pitch. Now it's 0-2. Might have been a little bit high.
Ben Revere was shocked that that ball was called a strike. You can see on pitch tracker that it was up over that strike zone. But Jimenez gets the call. He'll throw a lot of fastballs. Jimenez.
One and 2 now to the Blue Jays leadoff man, Ben Revere. It'll pop up behind short. Manny Machado gives way to left fielder Steve Pearce. Josh Donaldson, boy, what a game he had on Wednesday. He did a little bit of everything.
But this might have been the most electric play that we have seen as he pop up. He's at third base, little pop up to the second baseman. He recognizes that Kipnis was backpedaling on that ball. He takes a chance to score, and he scores the 5th run for the Blue Jays with that head first dive at home.
Donaldson 3 for 4 in that game. 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He has done just about everything the Blue Jays could have asked. Ball in the dirt. 1-1 count to Blue Jays third baseman. Donaldson has 99 career home runs, and he's riding a 6-game hit streak. First inning runs have been a problem for the Orioles lately. They've been scored on in the first in 8 of their last 9 games. Their starters have really created problems for Buck Showalter's Orioles. Here's the 1-2 pitch upstairs.
Overall this season, they're in the bottom 5 in earned run average. The Baltimore starters.
For the season, they've only allowed 63 runs in the first inning, which is the 8th fewest. So it hasn't been a problem until recently. Strike 3 call. Donaldson caught looking at that fastball. Pat, you mentioned he'll throw a lot of fastballs.
He will, and that was one of the pitches that was really working for him those first couple of starts against the Blue Jays. That comeback fastball that he will use on that outside part of the plate to the right-handers. Blue Jays have a lot of right-handed batters in their lineup again tonight. Jimenez, he's got that breaking ball away to righties and that comeback fastball. His 2 highest strikeout totals this season have been against the Blue Jays.
That big 9 strikeout game was May 11th at Baltimore in a 5-2 Oriole win. He made that start against Marco Estrada. So Bautista, he has never hit well against Jimenez. He's just 2 for 29 against the Orioles right-hander. That's an .069 average. But I guess you could say he's due.
He is due.
That outside corner is getting a workover right now. Donaldson was called out on an outside corner pitch.
Make a note of that. That they're creeping outside again.
2-2, 2 outs. Bottom of the first. Now it's a full count. Marcus Stroman in the house. He had a side session today. He had a broad smile on his face. The team took their picture today, and Stroman was front and center. Bautista with yet another walk. This is before batting practice today. The Blue Jays took their annual team picture. Marcus Stroman was here. He came here to throw his side session. He will make a start on Monday at Buffalo for AAA, and then there's a possibility he'll be added to this Blue Jays roster.
Chance to talk to him today right after he threw that side session. I'll tell you, he is fired up. Just being in this clubhouse, just being around his teammates, you couldn't knock the smile off of his face. He was so excited.
Yeah, he's been away a long time, and you know, and when you're injured and away from your team, you feel like you're on an island. Edwin Encarnacion, 271 for the season. Edwin, he's had his problems with Ubaldo Jimenez as well. So 6 for 30, a 200 average. Ground ball. Flaherty at third goes to second for the force out. The inning is over. Blue Jays leave a base runner. We've played an inning. It's scoreless at Rogers Center.
Stroman before the break, and I had a chance to speak to him as well today. And when he was first diagnosed, the thought was he was done for the season. No chance he's going to come back. The one person who never thought that was Marcus himself. In fact, he says he was extra motivated from all the doubters that are out there. He did a lot. He worked very hard during his time to get back, but he says the thing he's most proud of is the fact that he went back to Duke and earned his degree. In fact, he's one of only a handful of active players in the majors that can claim to have a 4-year college degree. Marcus is a true believer that things happen for a reason, and he got the best of both worlds. Now he feels that there's no reason why he can't join this rotation and help the team through September and the postseason. Buck?
He's a remarkable athlete and maybe even a more remarkable person. He's very dedicated to his career, to his education, and he completed his education.
The print media was trying to get John Gibbons to commit how they're going to use him the last month of the season, and I'm not real sure the Blue Jays know what they want to do. I think the first thing they have to do is they got to make sure he gets over that last hurdle in Buffalo. That's number one.
Yeah, you have to wait until you see one more start, see how he recovers, let him come to the team in Boston after that start. He'll probably show up Tuesday in Boston. You know, the one thing I learned as a manager is you don't make any decisions until you have to. You never know what's going to happen from here until next Tuesday. And certainly John Gibbons understands that, so you just don't make any decisions, and there's no reason to make any announcements. Chris Davis is on fire. Another home run for Davis. That's his 4th home run in his last 6 at bats. Drew Hutchison had handled him fairly well in the past, but right now he is red hot.
Well, we talked about him and Adam Jones in the opening about those two sluggers and what they have meant for this team. They're having great years. They've got great power, and they're in one of those groups where everything they swing at is going to be a base hit. It's a fastball that's up, and they want to pitch him up and in. You've got to tie him up, but he misses his spot with that ball over the plate. And when you've got a hot hitter like Chris Davis, who's strong like that, they're not going to miss it.
Ground ball, Colabello backhands. He'll go to the bag and beat Matt Wieters there, 1 down. The home run for Davis is number 39. That ties him with Nelson Cruz for the American League lead in home runs.
He just muscled that ball. It was in on him. He pulled his hands in and just got that thing airborne.
RBI number 98 for Davis.
4th home run this year against the Blue Jays for Chris Davis.
This is Jonathan Scope. He breaks his bat and hits a fly ball to right. Bautista makes the grab. Hutchison got that ball inside.
Tell you, they got a lot of home run hitters on this team, the Baltimore Orioles.
They're 4th in the league in home runs, and they've got a lot of power, and they always have hit well in this ballpark. When these two teams match up, chances are it's going to be a high-scoring affair. This season, the average score when these two teams play is 12.08 runs per game. And they have gone back and forth, and it doesn't make any difference who has an early lead. The game generally comes down to the last couple of innings.
There's just so many hitters. That 12.8 runs per game combined, that's the most runs per game combined all time. Orioles versus the Blue Jays.
It goes back to 1977, of course. Jimmy Paredes. He goes after that high pitch and drills it into center field. A 2-out single for Paredes, and the Blue Jays know all about Jimmy Paredes. He broke up a no-hitter of Marco Estrada as a pinch hitter on June 19th right here at Rogers Center, and he's a free swinger.
He can hit. Watch how quickly that back comes through. Looked like it was going to beat him, but he got that barrel through very quickly, hit that ball with a lot of solid contact.
This is Steve Pearce, left fielder. Pearce and Hutchison, both Florida natives. There's a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. They actually went to the same high school, albeit at different times, Lakeland High School. Two outs, 1-0 Orioles. 0-2.
I was talking with Russell Martin today, and I was asking him, you know, what has made Hutch so good in the month of August, and he said his secondary pitches have been better. That slider right there for strike 2, he said his changeup has been a lot better also.
They hit him. That slider inside. Pearce just turned a shoulder to it and got hit by the pitch, and that's a big break for Pearce. An 0-2 hit by pitch.
You know, it looked like he was trying to guide that ball in there, and it just got away from him. You can see where Russell is set up, down and away, and he doesn't get the ball out in front, doesn't get the hand on top of it, and he just spins it over the inner half, hits him right in that elbow pad.
First and second, 2 outs. This is the number 9 hitter, Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty has moved to third base with Machado covering shortstop with J.J. Hardy on the DL. There's a drive to right. Bautista's back, reaches for it. It's off his glove. One run is in. They're going to stop Pierce as the throw will come home, but Bautista got a glove on it and then swiped at it as it popped into the air, but it falls safely on the warning track, and Flaherty drives home the second run of the inning.
Flaherty always seems to come up with some big hits against the Blue Jays. He's got some power, so if you miss your spot, he's going to put a charge into it. Fastball, that thing's going down and away. He gets it off the barrel. It looked like Jose was back in plenty of time as he turns and then reaches up, and it just clanks off of his glove. Gets it back in quickly, but the Orioles score another run.
2-0 Baltimore. Back to the top of the order, the dangerous Manny Machado with runners at second and third. Machado flied out to center field his first time up. He's had a big season against the Blue Jays. Ground ball, Tulowitzki behind second, turns and fires. Oh, what a play. Tulowitzki saves a run for Drew Hutchison. Going behind the bag. Throws out Machado, his counterpart, with a terrific throw. 360 spin and a strike to first to end the inning. What's going on with Baltimore?
Hey, Buck, Blue Jays fans are all too familiar with the bad blood between Bautista and O'Day, Bautista and Jones, Donaldson and Machado from Donaldson's days in Oakland, but now you can add Troy Tulowitzki's name to the O's Blue Jays rivalry. You see, back in 2012, then Indian starter Ubaldo Jimenez drilled Tulo in the elbow, then charged at him, causing both benches to clear. Now, the incident stems back from Jimenez's ugly divorce from the Colorado Rockies. Orioles broadcaster Gary Thorne told me that for the players involved in these incidents, it may mean nothing to them, but in the course of a ball game, if something does happen, all these bad feelings could resurface. I asked Adam Jones about that, and he said, look, I'm going to let bygones be bygones. He believes this rivalry is good for baseball. He says, we're over it, Buck, but he was quick to say, we're not going to forget.
Tulowitzki takes a first pitch strike from his former teammate. That incident happened in spring training in Arizona. And Tulowitzki was at the plate in the first inning. He got hit squarely in the back, and Jimenez came off the mound and threw his glove down. And afterwards, obviously, Tulowitzki said, well, you have to ask him what his intent was. And Jimenez says, hey, I'm not going to try to hit anybody and hurt anybody, but that's the standard script.
Sure looked like he was aiming for him right there. Look at Jimenez. Who's charging who right there? That had to be something about their days as teammates with the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, a pitcher throws his glove down and waves the hitter out. I don't think he hit him accidentally.
No. And then charged him?
Yeah. But anyway, that's in the past. These two were teammates in Colorado with the Rockies. And then Jimenez went to Cleveland, and now he signed with a free agent contract here with the Orioles. Foul back. Two 2-0 Baltimore. And as we said, don't let the early score fool you. These teams have gone back and forth. There was a game here earlier in the season where Chris Tillman gave up, or the Orioles scored 7 off Copeland, and then Tillman gave up 6 in the bottom half of the second. 13 runs scored in the second inning. That was on the 21st of June, last time these two teams met. Tulowitzki, you can hear him say, no, that was inside. That is Chris Siegel, one of the younger umpires in the league, and he rings up Tulowitzki on an inside fastball. He called out Donaldson on a fastball away in the first inning.
Well, if you're paying attention, the umpire, Chris Siegel's got a big strike zone tonight. So the Blue Jays on these pitches right here, they're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to swing. He's been calling them.
Chris Colabello starting at first base for the 22nd time this season. Colabello's having a terrific season. 15 doubles, 13 home runs, and a .323 batting average. Quickly 0-2. We mentioned that Menace had a great start against the Blue Jays in Baltimore on the 11th of May. He struck out the side to start the game, registered 9 strikeouts in the game, and struck out the top 4 hitters 8 times. Bautista was out at that time. He was not in the lineup. Devin Travis led off. Donaldson hit second. Russell Martin hit third, and Encarnacion hit fourth.
That was 1 month to the day where he pitched his first game of the season against the Blue Jays and pitched well. 8 strikeouts in 7 innings, retired the final 12 of 13 batters. He had that release point working, man. He was hitting his spots, moving the ball around. The strikes on his slider was good, his splitter was good, and his fastball was good. When he's got those 3 pitches working all at once, he's tough to hit.
Had a great season for the Rockies in 2010. He finished 3rd in the National League Cy Young voting. He was an all-star. He went 19-8 for Colorado. That's his best season ever. Had a .288 earned run average pitching in Colorado.
In Colorado, very impressive. Didn't he throw a no-hitter that year?
He did.
His last 4 starts this year have been very pedestrian. He hasn't even thrown 6 innings in any of those 4 starts.
And that's the root of the Orioles' problems, is the starting pitching. And home runs have been a problem for Jimenez. When he gives up a home run, he's 3-8. When he keeps it in the ballpark, he's 6-1. They asked down first, or the appeal, Jim Timmons said no swing. So it's a full count to Colabello. Catcher Russell Martin is on deck. Ball 4. Colabello takes a walk. That'll bring Martin to the plate with a man at first and 1 out.
Let's take a look at the scatter report for tonight's starter for Baltimore, Ubaldo Jimenez. He's got a little bit of everything. Look at the different eye slices right here. Fastball, just low 90s fastball, and a splitter, a slider, a curveball, a changeup, a little bit of everything. That splitter, I think, is his best pitch. They're only hitting .213 against that thing, and he's throwing it hard. I've noticed here the first couple of innings, that splitter has been very hard, about 85 miles an hour.
Russell Martin, first pitch, base hit up the middle. Martin hitting in the 7th spot. That's the first hit for the Blue Jays. Colabello stops at second, and that'll bring Ryan Goins to the plate. Goins put together a heck of a month of August. Really, everything came together for him. During the month, he had .314. He was 22 for .270 with 2 home runs.
Not really known as a home run hitter, obviously, but those are byproducts of good at-bats, and he has had a lot of good at-bats at the plate. I think the best part of his at-bats over the last month or so, or at least during this 12-game hit streak, is walking a lot more. He's really forcing that pitcher to come to him.
His 12-game hit streak is the longest active hit streak in the majors. Chris Davis goes to Machado at second. He had trouble getting the ball out, and now the Blue Jays are going to score. The runner comes in from third, Colabello. Jimenez had that ball go off his glove. He got a glove on it, but couldn't hold on. It got away from him, and Colabello scores from third.
Anytime you can get that pitcher involved in fielding a baseball, they're just not used to it. The Blue Jays are going to score a run as Chris Davis can't get back fast enough to turn the 3-6-3 double play, so the pitcher has to get involved. It's a low throw. It looks like it hits him right on the heel of the glove. Yeah, Goins would have been saved, but he can't pick it up, and that's going to give the Blue Jays a run. Breaking ball to Davis. He's too deep. Here comes Jimenez. They practice this all the time in spring training, but he can't come up with it. The Blue Jays hit on the board.
Manny Machado was given the air. That's going to be changed, I'm sure, but officially it's Manny Machado with the air. But Jimenez had a chance to catch it. It just went off his glove. But the Blue Jays are on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game. Machado making his third start at shortstop in place of the injured J.J. Hardy. Kevin Pillar. Jimenez just couldn't put up a 0 after his club had staked him to a 2-0 lead. There goes Goins. Throw is low and bounces away from Scope. Goins has a stolen base. For Ryan, that's his second. His whole ball game, he's got a lot more confidence in every aspect of his game.
Tim Leeper was telling me the other day, he's first base coach for the Blue Jays, they feel like Ryan Goins can steal a few more bases, so they have been working on getting jumps, keeping the feet moving, reading pitchers, and he will pick up his second stolen base with that head first slide.
Kevin Pillar now with a runner in scoring position. 2 balls and a strike to the center fielder. This is what we mean about these two teams. Blue Jays have a 7-5 advantage over the Orioles for the season, but they have both butted heads all season long, back and forth.
Some of the best games this year have been between these two teams. And it, like you said, it doesn't matter who gets out in front first.
Ground ball, Machado at short has it. Goes to first in plenty of time. The inning's over, but the Blue Jays take advantage of a 1-out walk and an error. It's a 2-1 Orioles lead. the bandwagon, and why not? The Blue Jays are playing great baseball. The Orioles have a 2-1 lead as we head to the third. And Pat, this is going to be a difficult month. The Blue Jays have a lead in the East. They have a 1.5 lead over the Yankees. But every team that plays the Blue Jays is going to want to knock them off.
And nobody wants to see the other team celebrate against them. The Blue Jays saw that last year from the Baltimore Orioles. You're right. Everybody knows everybody. There are no secrets in the American League East. You play these teams so many times back and forth. They know each other so well that you're not going to surprise anybody with anything. So the games are going to be tough. And the Blue Jays know that. They know that neither of these teams are going to lay down for them.
The Blue Jays will play a 4-game series against Baltimore, the last road trip of the season. Parra slaps it foul just outside of third. Gerardo Parra grounded out to first base his first time up. But you're right, 19 games against your division rivals, and there are no secrets. You play each other too much. One and two to Parra. The New York Yankees are home to play the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. Luis Severino against Jake Odorizzi, and the Blue Jays have a 1.5 lead over them. Tampa Bay a game under 500, 10 back. Then Baltimore and Boston bringing up the rear. Ground ball to Tulowitzki near the bag at second. One out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Severino has given up 3 hits, but the Rays haven't scored yet. Yankees got a tough bit of news when Mark Teixeira was placed on a disabled list. He's got leg problems, and he's not going to be around for a while.
A couple of weeks that he's going to be out.
Adam Jones takes one off the plate outside.
You know, that's the great thing about the scheduling. The last month of the season, pennant races. I mean, you have to earn it. If you want to win the division, you're going to be up against the big boys in your division. You got to earn it.
Jones pulls it foul off the wall. You know what? And everybody's going to play each other. All the Eastern teams are going to play each other. The Yankees, so they've got an interesting couple of teams out of the division. They play 3 games against the Mets at Citi Field and 4 games against the White Sox at home. The Blue Jays, on the other hand, will play Atlanta. The only team outside of their division. That's a 3-game series. They'll play down in Atlanta on the upcoming road trip.
Yeah, it's right at the end of the road trip after that big 4-gamer in New York versus the Yankees. But if you're a player right now, it's the beginning of September. You got exactly 1 month to go. You don't worry about the next road trip. You don't worry about the next series. You worry about tonight.
Yeah, you can't look anywhere past this ball game right here. Trying to come inside on Jones. They get it in there, and he fights it off. We mentioned Adam Jones and Chris Davis, and they've always put up big numbers against the Blue Jays, but Drew Hutchison has pitched them tough. The home run that Davis hit in the second was just the 3rd home run for the pair of sluggers that Hutchison has allowed to them.
Drew's got a little something extra on his fastball tonight. That one at 96. One of the reasons why he's put up a pretty good earned run average right there in 5-1. He likes to elevate that fastball.
Jones strikes out.
And there it is. Right on cue, Drew. Fastball up. It's a team with a lot of home run hitters, so you can try and find the holes, and he does right there against Adam Jones with his first strikeout of the night.
High fastball did the trick. Davis homered in his first at bat. Shot into the second deck in right field. They're going to try to go away from him here. What is the book on Davis as the best way to attack him?
A lot of teams throw the ball above his hands, up and in. So he either fouls that ball off or he just can't get to it. We have seen the Blue Jays in the past try to pitch Chris Davis away. where he can extend his arms, and he doesn't have to pull the ball to hit it out of the ballpark. He can go the other way. We've seen him hit plenty of home runs to left center field. But a lot of teams like to pound him inside and get it above his hands where he just can't catch up to it.
I think he has experienced the same thing in Baltimore that Josh Donaldson has experienced here in Toronto. Smaller ballparks have made him a better hitter. That's a fair ball. Colabello has it. He'll beat Davis to the bag. Good bounce back inning for Drew Hutchison. 3 up, 3 down.
Going on. It is the home run contest. If a Blue Jays player hits a homer into the flight deck, your name could be drawn to win 25,000 WestJet dollars. For full contest rules and entry form, visit BlueJays.com/WestJet contest. And the way that Edwin Encarnacion has been bashing balls, guys, there could be a chance we'll see one of his end up in the flight deck before long.
There's about 9 guys in this ballgame tonight that can hit one out there. They might be giving away a lot of points. This is Ben Revere, leadoff man. He flied out to left field his first time up. Boy, the Orioles really play him shallow, don't they? They bunch him in the middle, and they play him shallow. Bouncing ball. Manny Machado right near second base, unloads in a hurry and throws Revere out. Mentioned Manny Machado is playing shortstop. Now that's his natural position. He was signed as a shortstop, played shortstop right through the minor leagues until Buck Showalter said we're going to need a third baseman. Then they immediately moved him to third base, and Showalter says leave him right there. I need him in the big leagues, and he came up as a third baseman.
And he's a natural too. Tuesday is when J.J. Hardy is expected to come off the disabled list.
Hit to Flaherty. What a nice play. Flaherty takes a hit away, and on the other end, Davis does a good job as well. He scoops the low throw. Boy, Flaherty did a good job, and that ball was smoked right down to his backhand side.
The Baltimore Orioles are first in the American League in fielding percentage. They've only committed 55 errors. Even with J.J. Hardy out, they can move guys around and still make plays. First to play at third base right here by Flaherty as he gets down low. You see how low he stays? You can read the ball when you're down low like that. And then Chris Davis on the other end. Look at that scoop to get Donaldson at first base.
They've committed the fewest errors in the majors, and they have always been a good defensive ball club. Going back to their great teams in the 70s. They had gold glovers everywhere. Jose Bautista walked in his first at bat. Isn't it interesting how Bautista struggles mightily against Jimenez? We're talking about one of the best hitters in the game, and for some reason he just hasn't been able to do much against Jimenez. Breaks his bat there, and the barrel of it ends up in the coaching box down at third.
You know, there's just some pitchers that you just either don't pick the ball up on or they continually make good pitches against you. Jimenez can be tough on anybody. Watch this thing. In. Looks like Jose got that one right off the end of the bat and shatters it. The barrel takes off, goes all the way down to third base, but there are just certain pitchers you just can't pick the ball up.
Well, there's no question Jimenez has a lot of things going on in his delivery. He wraps that baseball behind his back when he's striding toward home. And it's really a problem for timing.
It's
for being inconsistent.
It's a unique arm swing. Watch this thing. A lot of movement. And for a right-handed batter, if he's throwing hard and locating like we've seen him a couple of times this year, it can be very difficult to pick that ball up. Very unorthodox, but very effective.
Full count to Bautista. He got the head out on that one. Romualdo Jimenez got off to a great start this season, but things have really been problematic for him of late. When you look at his first half compared to his second half numbers, dramatically different.
750 earned run average you see in the second half there. Good pitch. That is the highest in Major League Baseball.
Jimenez strikes out Bautista. Blue Jays are down in order in their half of the third. 3 strikeouts for the big right-hander.
Presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
A beautiful night for baseball in Toronto. The roof is wide open. This is a Labor Day weekend Friday night, and you couldn't script it any better. There's a slight cool breeze. It was 26 degrees at the start of play. I mean, it is perfect. Matt Wieters grounded out to Colabello his first time up. On the money right there with that first pitch fastball to Wieters. Wieters coming back from Tommy John surgery. Really had his playing time limited this season. Backdoor breaking ball.
We saw him a little bit in spring training, made that one start, looked great, then went on the disabled list. And that's bad news for the Orioles. This guy's a leader. Gold Glover, calls a great game behind the plate.
0-2. Breaking ball, back foot, didn't swing. Todd Tishner down at third base said no swing. Wieters is a free agent. And it's a tough time to be coming back from an injury as a free agent. Obviously, everybody knows his skills when he's 100%, but this is just his 61st game of the season.
I think that's going to be really interesting this offseason. If a team jumps out there, and it only takes one team that jumps out there Says, you know what, we want Matt Wieters. We'll take a gamble to make sure that he's 100% for the rest of his career.
Wieters is now 29 years old. Two balls and two strikes to the Orioles catcher. Bounding ball up the middle. Tulowitzki has it. One down. We mentioned Drew Hutchison. His record here at home is 11-1. 11 wins, one off the Blue Jays franchise record for wins at home by a Blue Jays pitcher. Doyle Alexander won 12 games in 1984, as did Roger Clemens in 98. Dave Stieb went 12-5 in 1988. Those are the only Blue Jay pitchers that have had more wins in a season than Drew Hutchison. Ripped into left field by Jonathan Schoop. A one-out single. Hutchison is one of 5 Blue Jay pitchers to have 11 wins at home in a season.
He's got a good fastball tonight. A little something extra on that thing, but that time it's right down the middle. And Schoop, who's got some power, he's got 11 home runs, hitting 290. Couldn't get that one airborne.
Schoop had a big game-tying home run on Wednesday night to snap a 6-game losing streak for the Orioles. Chris Davis hit a home run in the 11th to win it. Jimmy Paredes, the DH.
Gotta be tough against this guy right here. Seems like Paredes always comes up with big games against the Blue Jays.
We mentioned that Paredes broke up the no-hitter of Marco Estrada back in June. He came on as a pinch hitter and singled to left to break up the no-no.
Sitting 370 versus the Blue Jays this year. They got to make some good pitches to get him out.
He's a free swinger. It looks to me like you could throw him soft pitches and be better off than anything hard. He loves to swing at that fastball.
There are the numbers I was just talking about. 2 home runs and 8 RBIs.
We mentioned that game by Estrada. That was on June 19th. He started against Mike Wright. The Blue Jays scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. But the Orioles never gave up. They scored 2 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th, and the Blue Jays held on to win it 5-4. That's the type of games you're liable to see over this weekend.
Both of these teams make you earn all 27 outs, don't they, in a ball game? Nobody lays down.
Ball and a strike to Paredes. Now it's 2-1. The Orioles have really struggled on the road. They're 26-42. That's the worst road record in the American League. Their on-base percentage away from Camden Yards is under 300. 290 to be exact. Three balls and a strike.
Yeah, you see all those numbers, and you've got them all, the on-base percentage, and they don't hit well. They're good. You still have to make pitches against these guys. I don't care where you're doing it.
Well, they're especially good. They're dangerous because they're wounded. Now it's a full count. 1 out. Schoop at first. Steve Pearce, a right-handed hitter, is on deck.
They might start that runner right here. Gamble that Paredes is going to make contact.
might start to run her here. Like we said, what do they have to lose? They can roll the dice. Tulowitzki behind the back, flips to Goins to first, not in time. Boy, you talk about some athletes on the infield. Tulowitzki and Goins, they're top of the heap. Paredes just outran it.
Ball was hit so hard, but watch the positioning by Tulowitzki and then the jump he gets. He gets the ball to Goins in enough time for him to get to the bag. But unfortunately for the Blue Jays, he's got to come across the bag, and he just has to throw off the wrong foot. He just can't get enough on that to get Paredes at first base. He's going to be safe as you see him hit the bag before the ball gets into the glove. But what a play by the middle infield of the Blue Jays.
2 red stars on a play where they don't turn 2. Tulowitzki made a terrific play, flipped to Goins to get the force out. Pierce goes after the first pitch. Popped into center. Pilar coming on. He calls and makes the catch. Pierce out on 1 pitch. The defense once again playing Gold Glove caliber D. Player, but he's a big kid at heart. This is before the game. He's got a remote control car, and he was spinning wheelies, running over bases, and going all the way out to the outfield and watching this car. And watch this one. Hi-yow.
Whoops.
It broke. But he was out having a lot of fun. And when you think about these guys, they've got scooters, they've got frisbees, they play soccer before the game, they do video games. They're just having a blast.
And it's a tightly knit team also, I think, what the winning has done and the characters that they have brought in here. And they like to have fun. They come to the ballpark. This is where they work, but it's also where they hang out.
They have a common goal, that's for sure.
There's the biggest of all of them right there.
Look at, he's got the baseball in his hand, working on staying sharp. He was out fielding ground balls today, helping the infielders in the infield. And you know what? It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. I think a lot of times these guys get wrapped up in cool. These guys aren't cool. No. They're just having a good time. And you know what? They're not doing it for anything other than pure joy. I mean, we see them all the time. They're on the road. They come out, put the uni on, have a good time. They're hanging out at the ballpark. And they're feeding off one another.
They like each other. They like being around each other. They like competing together as a team. I'll tell you, that's tough to beat 25 guys like that.
Very tough. You might keep one of them down, but the next one will get you. 3-2 to Encarnacion, the leadoff man here in the 4th. Blue Jays need to do something to get this crowd going. They're a little bit quiet here on a Friday night. Ball four. 3 walks issued by Menace.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Well, you're asking for trouble issuing the free passes to the Blue Jays. The lineup is so deep, somebody's going to run into one. Troy Tulowitzki. Takes his strike. Tulowitzki and Jimenez, of course, teammates in Colorado. Jeff Francis, who's down in the Blue Jays bullpen, also part of that Rockies team. Tulowitzki called for the swing there.
That's that hard split finger fastball that just goes straight down. It looks like a fastball coming in. You start your swing, you recognize it, and it's tough to hold up.
Tulowitzki behind 0-2. Strike 3 called out for a second time. This time it was a fastball away.
First time up it was a fastball that was down that Troy thought was down. That time it was that comeback fastball. That's the 4th strikeout tonight by Jimenez, and all 4 of them have been taken, called strikes. That comeback fastball, again, that was the one that helped him the first couple of starts this season against the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays have just 1 hit. Russell Martin with a single to center. Colabello. Colabello trying to check his swing and went around. Colabello pulls it through the hole on the left side.
He's had that knack to come up with big hits against tough pitchers, and Jimenez is a tough pitcher. John Gibbons has seen him now 4 times this year, so he's got Colabello in the lineup, and he yanks this ball by Flaherty and Machado. And that will bring Russell Martin to the plate.
So Encarnacion started the inning with a walk. He's now at second. Colabello singled with 1 out. Now Russell Martin hit a first pitch fastball into center field back in the second. That followed a walk to Colabello. I tell you, when you've got Russell Martin hitting 7th in your lineup, you got a pretty good lineup.
Pretty good. 17 home runs in that 7th spot. I think they moved Goins up to 8 and dropped Pilar down to 9 to break up the left-handers. Goins and then Revere when they switched around, because they've got 3 left-handers in that bullpen. The Orioles, so it's a tough lineup for the Jays.
T.J. McFarland, Brian Madison, the closer, Zach Britton, all left-handed. So these are the things that managers contemplate when they're putting their lineups together. Okay, I want to keep Goins and Revere separated by Pilar. 2-1. Pulled on the ground. Flaherty comes after it, goes to second in the dirt. Nice play by Scope. Jonathan Scope did a terrific job of taking that low throw and completing the double play. We'll go to the 5th. The Orioles have a 2-1 lead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong.
Or on demand at True HD with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and much more. It also includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And it's great to have At-Bat 15 up when you're following the Jays and also following the Yankees. And the Yankees have scored another run on a Brian McCann home run. So the Blue Jays have their work cut out for them. They want to keep pace with the Yankees tonight. Buck?
Well, the Yankees are trying to keep pace with the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have a 1.5-game lead. The Rays are in town for 3. Jake Odorizzi, the starter tonight. Matt Moore and then Chris Archer for Tampa Bay. Ryan Flaherty. The Blue Jays bring out the best in Ryan Flaherty. You know, it's always been a tough out for them. The numbers might not suggest he's wearing them out, but he comes up with big hits.
Just 213 on the season. He's got some power if you make a mistake, but you're right. He comes up with big base hits, and he makes great plays on defense. He's a super utility type of player.
He can play short, second, and third, obviously. And in an emergency, he can go to the outfield. It's kind of like a mini Ben Zobrist. Yeah. It's not a switch hitter.
He can play first if you need him. We've seen him DH sometimes, and he's a good player. He was a Rule 5 guy that the Orioles picked up, left him on their roster, and he's a good major leaguer.
You know what he is? He's a Vanderbilt alum. Another one of those good players coming out of Vanderbilt. He grew up in the Northeast, but that's where the coach Tim Corbin came from. So Vanderbilt has always recruited heavily in the Northeast. Good breaking ball. A lot of depth on that breaking ball. One out here in the 5th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, that's what you get when you play the Yankees in the Bronx. Home runs. A-Rod did a home run earlier. McCann now. Those are the only 2 hits that the Yankees have tonight. Manny Machado. He's 0 for 2 so far. Was after the first pitch. Big hop for the third baseman, Donaldson. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th. The Blue Jays season is a little bit like that of the Orioles a year ago. The Orioles last season, right around the All-Star break, just afterwards, were close to 500. And then things turned around for them. Everything started to click. started getting very good starting pitching. The defense was very good as usual. Tulowitzki, another short hop play, another easy inning for Hutchison. This inning took just 6 pitches, and the Orioles are retired in order.
Catch Blue Jays Rewind presented by Booster Juice, part of the morning show highlights on Sportsnet 360. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry, and we've got you covered. Anything that happens around the Blue Jays, somebody's going to have some insight. They're doing a great job of expanding some of these shows and making sure that everybody is out here checking things out. We're pleased to have Hazel May with us all the time, bringing us up to speed on everything involving the visiting teams, and Barry Davis does a terrific job every game. Ryan Goins. Ryan reached base on a fielder's choice in the second. Goins done a great job of getting on base. Over his last 46 plate appearances, he's reached base 24 times. Boy, that's a wicked splitter
Nasty.
right there.
Nasty 0-1.
Goins is streaking, that's for sure. His 12-game hit streak is the longest active hit streak in the majors and the longest of his career. That pitch right there is what makes that splitter so effective. That low fastball down near the bottom of the strike zone, and then that splitter comes in. You think it's another fastball, and you chase it.
And you chase it, and he'll bounce it, and you end up striking out. There it is. Good job by Goins. These are the kind of at-bats we have seen from Ryan over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Now, you talk about the adjustments he has made, and it's hard to fathom that just a subtle movement in placing that bat on his shoulder has allowed him to swing the bat so well. Lays off that pitch.
Even though you have fought back to 3-2 here, don't get a little too excited. Just stay where you've been. Stay compact. Good at bat.
Boy, he threw him a 3-2 splitter in a 1-run game. Number 8 hitter with the leadoff walk. That's 4 walks, and that's going to come back and bite him in us. Take a look at the starter comparisons of these two rotations since the All-Star break. And the Blue Jays have really separated themselves from the Orioles.
They certainly have. The starters have won 25 games for the Blue Jays, where the Orioles have lost 20 games as starters since the break. Everything skewed towards the Blue Jays. They've also given up 42 home runs. The Baltimore Orioles. Blue Jays just 27 since the All-Star break. A definite difference from a year ago for Baltimore.
Well, the Blue Jays pitching staff, starters and relievers are 5th in the American League in earned run average. And that's nothing to sneeze at. And they've done a terrific job of eliminating walks. Mark Burley is the champion of that. He never walks many. Kevin Pillar. Blue Jays can play hit and run with this combination. Goins had a stolen base his last time on base. That's the 19th stolen base Jimenez has allowed this season.
And that's why they're paying such close attention to Goins over there at first base. Told you last time after that stolen base that he has been working with Tim Leeper. He's been working on keeping his feet moving, and as you watch him over there at first base, it's almost like he's chopping his feet to help him get started, going either way.
The 19 stolen bases allowed, the most in the American League, and that's why the Blue Jays are anxious to start the runner. It's really challenging for Matt Wieters. Not only is Jimenez slow, but then he'll throw that splitter a lot. Tough pitch to catch and throw. Oh, 0-2 now. Road hasn't been very kind to him in this. 3-7 with an ERA over 5 in his 15 road starts. And as a team, we mentioned already that the Orioles have just 26 road wins all season. Good take on that tough pitch, down and away. Leadoff man is next, Ben Revere. Blue Jays have a little better idea of that splitter now. When they see it about knee high, they know it's going to break out of the zone.
And they're now just taking that pitch, trying to force Jimenez up in the strike zone. It's a big pitch right here.
2-2. Little looper behind second. That's going to drop. Base hit for Pillar. Goins stops at second. Good two-strike approach for Kevin Pillar. Cut down your swing and protect the plate.
He has been a master at that type of swing lately. Breaking ball. That's a slider. Watch that thing go down and away, and Pillar hits it right off the end of the bat. He's got to protect that plate. It's just too close to take, and he just hits it off the end of the bat into the outfield. And now there's all kind of options for the Blue Jays now with the first two runners reaching base here to start the fifth.
Ben Revere has 2 sacrifice bunts since he's joined the Blue Jays. He has 4 for the season and 25 for his career. So you've got a good man up if you choose to bunt in this situation.
Here comes Chris Davis. He was back talking to the first base umpire Tim Timmons, and now they gave the bunt sign, and they are expecting a bunt. Look at the hole on the right side of the infield.
Interesting positioning for the Orioles to start. And they swing away. Little chopper. They'll look to second, go to first, and Revere moves the runners on a swing. They had an unusual setup defensively. The shortstop was over toward third, second baseman. It was unusual.
And that cost them getting that runner in the middle of the diamond. They were playing to get that runner at third base. Look where the shortstop, Manny Machado, is playing. So when Revere swings away, look how far he's got to go. He just can't get there in time. Scope takes a look, but there's nobody there. So he's got to get the play over at first.
Pillar was hustling, and he was going to beat Machado even if they made the throw. So Revere moves the 2 runners up now for Josh Donaldson.
And he is money on that first pitch. 390 on that first pitch this season.
Got a good one to hit. He's on the track. He's going to make the catch. Goins tags at third. He's coming in, and Pilar slides in safely at third. It's a 2-2 game. Donaldson delivers RBI 112.
Almost got it over the wall on a very tough pitch by Jimenez. He reached out, and he's so strong. And he keeps his weight back long enough just to get that ball airborne. Scores Goins and moves Pilar to third.
This is how you win championships. Take advantage of walks and sacrifice flies, cash in runs. You get into the postseason, you're not going to bang the ball all over the yard. And the Blue Jays have exhibited the ability to manufacture runs. Ben Revere advanced the runners with a little weak grounder to second. Bautista can give the Blue Jays the lead. Ball gets away, and Pilar gonna hold. Wieters didn't see it right away, but after he stopped on his initial break, he had to hold at third.
And Matt thought that ball was to the backstop. Wieters, it's a splitter, and you have to take advantage of it. You anticipate it. Thought it went to the backstop. You see him look around, and now it's over to his left. That's where the pitcher will tell him where the ball is, or point to it, or yell to him. Just didn't go far enough away for Pilar to score.
So now Bautista's got to be thinking, maybe I'm going to get a fastball here. That splitter in the dirt could cost them a run. He got a fastball, but it was off the plate.
You mentioned the problems that Jose has had against Jimenez. This would be a perfect time right here to bust out of it.
He is 2 for 30 against Jimenez. Another walk.
Designated hitter number 10, Edwin Encarnacion.
Flag of the Dominican Republic, Encarnacion's country. 5 walks issued by Jimenez. 2 have come in to score. It's a 2-2 game. Center cut fastball.
He's thinking about putting 3 runs on the board. He finally gets a fastball, and he swings right through it. He's had his problems against Jimenez.
Hot shot to Flaherty. He'll go to second for the force out. That'll end the inning, but the Blue Jays have tied it up. Josh Donaldson with a sacrifice fly. We go to the 6th. It's 2-2. Here comes the home hardware cleanup crew. Brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. Jays. It's Jones and Davis. Adam Jones and Chris Davis have always been a thorn in the Blue Jays' side. Look what they've done since 2011. Pat, this has been a nasty combination the Blue Jays have had to deal with.
On top of a big average, over 300, both of them against the Blue Jays. They hit for a lot of power and they drive in a lot of runs. Their on-base percentage around 400. Their OPS, on-base plus slugging, way up there. It's double trouble. One's right-handed, one's left-handed, and this year, no difference. They have hit 7 home runs against the Blue Jays this season.
Adam Jones is 0 for 2. Jones grounded out in the first and struck out in the third. Base hit to right. Took that pitch away from him and slapped it into right. So that'll bring Chris Davis to the plate with a man aboard and nobody out.
Well, nobody hits like Chris Davis when it comes to hitting against his division. Looked like they wanted that fastball in right there, and you only have to miss by a little bit, and Chris Davis with that tremendous power is going to lose the baseball for you.
For Davis, as Pat mentioned, that's his 16th home run against the AL East. That's the second most home runs by a player against a division. Nolan Arenado has 19 home runs against the National League West, the Colorado Rockies' third baseman. There's a drive to left field, and this one's going to leave the yard. A 2-homer night for Chris Davis. One to right, one to left center. It's a tough duo for the Blue Jays, and they deliver once again here in the 6th.
Yeah, in just a couple of pitches. It didn't take long. 40th home run for Davis, his second tonight. Told you he doesn't have to pull the ball to hit it out of the ball, any ballpark, any part of the ballpark. That ball, they wanted that one away, and that takes it right to the barrel, and he just lays back, sits back, and lifts it out of here.
With that home run, he takes the lead in the majors with 40 home runs. So fly ball to left. Revere is back at the wall. Off his glove, over the fence for a home run. Matt Wieters going back to back with Chris Davis. Revere got to it, looked like he had it in his glove, and then it bounced off his glove over the wall for a home run.
You don't see that very often right there. Revere has been coming up with circus catch after circus catch. And he got back there. That ball kept carrying to left field. He got back there. He timed his leap. Watch him go up. That's off the glove. In it, off it, and out. Well, unfortunately for the Blue Jays, it goes over the wall for another home run.
Back-to-back home runs on back-to-back pitches. They mentioned this is a dangerous team. They've got power. There's another base hit. 4 in a row. Jonathan Scope headed for second. The fan reaches over and touches it. So Scope will stop at second. Single, homer, and double for the Orioles here in the 6th.
And that'll get that bullpen up very quickly. Liam Hendricks. This is a quick strike team right here. Baltimore, if you don't make pitches, it's a little slider that stays on the inside part of the plate. They can come after you. They go up there swinging. That one's right over the bag for extra bases. Boy, Jones, Davis, Wieters, and now Scope in a matter of about 6 pitches.
The all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Right-hander Liam Hendricks begins to loosen up for the Blue Jays in the left field bullpen. This came out of nowhere, but we talked about the Jones-Davis duo when they got it started. Single homer, and then Wieters went back-to-back with Davis. That straightens up Paredes. The Orioles now have gone back-to-back 4 times this season, and Chris Davis has been involved in all 4 of them.
That's not shocking, is it? 40 home runs this year now.
Chris Davis is a free agent. His timing is pretty good. And another bounce back season. Davis with 3 RBIs has reached the 100 plateau. There's another base hit. Scope is going to be stopped at third. Revere gets it back in quickly. That's 5 straight hits for the Orioles here in the 6th. And that's going to be it for Drew Hutchison. This kind of came out of nowhere. Hutchison retired the side in order in the 5th. He had retired 4 straight, gave up a single in the 4th. But the wheels came off here in the 6th. So Hutch is out of the ball game. He goes 6 innings plus 5 batters. Liam Hendriks will come in. First and third. Still nobody out.
Action with breaking news, scores, stats, and video highlights. Plus, watch the Blue Jays live from anywhere. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. And the complexion of this game changed dramatically in a matter of about 10 pitches. Drew Hutchison is out of the game. Liam Hendriks comes on to face Steve Pearce. Still nobody out. Runners at the corners.
Here are the numbers for Hendriks in 45 games. Perfect record, 4-0, 267 earned run average. He's only walked 10 batters in an outing more than an inning. He's got an ERA of 1.20.
Little chopper out in front of home. It's got a lot of spin on it, and Hendriks is going to throw to first, not in time. Steve Pearce reaches on a swinging bunt out in front of home. That's 6 straight hits for the Orioles here in the 6th.
Boy, you want to talk about putting English on the ball right off the end of the bat. And watch this thing bounce that way, then that way, and then it just dies on the grass out into no man's land. Checks up in front of home plate, and that's going to be an infield hit. Number 10 on the night for the Orioles.
So now the bases are loaded for Ryan Flaherty, the number 9 hitter. Nobody out. The infield in at the corners. Second baseman Goins is halfway between double play depth and in. Flaherty chases the first pitch. Orioles have a 5-2 lead. They have scored 3 runs here in the 6th. He went around. 0-2.
Almost a full swing, and they still checked. With the third base umpire, Liam Hendriks has a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And that's what you're looking for right here. You need a strikeout somewhere.
Strikeout double play. That's the perfect formula right here. 0-2. Martin with a good block on that breaking ball in the dirt. Liam Hendriks hasn't pitched since Saturday. Pitched an inning on Saturday through 21 pitches against the Tigers. Very late on that fastball. Well, we told you these two teams combined to score a lot of runs. They had a little bit of a slow start, but now they're ratcheting it up a bit.
Averaging 12 runs per game in their 12 meetings this year. That's the most in the history of this series.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
That beats the former record. That was in 1998 when they averaged about 11.5 runs between them in a series.
Chris Davis has driven in 3 of the 5 Oriole runs. Strike 3 call. Flaherty had something else on his mind. Takes a fastball right down the middle.
He had those 2 sliders that he fell behind Liam Hendriks on his mind. A couple of sliders, you put that in mind, then you can do this. Fastball right down the middle. And you lock him up. Big strikeout.
Step 1. 1 out. Bases remain loaded, but now the Blue Jays will back up into double play depth. Manny Machado 0 for 3 so far with a couple of ground balls. Hendriks, part of a very effective Blue Jays bullpen. They have improved their lot dramatically. The strikeout to walk ratio is the first in the American League. They're the best. Ground ball, but foul. Boy, you see all the moving parts when that ball was hit on the ground. Pierce with a big break towards second. Goins was standing on the bag. Everybody was anticipating a ball hit on the ground.
Yeah, if you're the second baseman, if you get a ground ball, this is where you want them to hit it firm. So that runner, because they're not holding him on at first base, can get a huge lead.
1-2. Popped in the air. Revere to the left fielder coming in. Makes the catch on the run. Here's the throw to the plate. It's wide and late as Scope comes in with the 4th run in the inning. Machado delivers the sac fly, his 68th RBI of the season.
Doesn't hit that deep, but Revere's got to come a long way, and he's going to be off balance. Watch when he catches it. He's full stride. He's got to turn that body all the way around so he can get a better angle at home. He just can't close that shoulder fast enough or long enough, and it throws off target.
Kevin Pillar was shaded over in the right center alley. He couldn't get there. Machado picks up the RBI. It's a 4-run inning for the Orioles. Gerardo Parra, number 2 hitter. Parra has grounded out 3 times. Parra is the 9th Oriole to bat this inning. That's a foul ball. Aaron Luke just added to this roster. When the rosters expanded 1st of September, he's loosening up. Deep into the seats down the left side. Adam Jones got it all started with a single to right. That set the table for the second home run of the night for Chris Davis. Davis now has 40 home runs and 100 RBIs. Two and two. Off-speed pitch pulled foul. Pat, you mentioned this is a quick strike offense, and boy, did they come out of nowhere here in the 6th.
What, in a matter of about 4 or 5 pitches? Jones single, Davis homer, Wieters homer, Scope double. They've all scored.
Popped up out in front of the home plate. Russell Martin is there. The inning is over. But the Orioles sent 9 men to the plate in the 6th. They scored 4 runs with 2 homers. 6-2 Orioles.
To be sitting in those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone tonight, we welcome guests of TD. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are folks from the Jays Care Rookie League. Hope all the kids are having a great time at the ball game tonight. Buck?
Well, I'm sure they are, and the Jays Care Rookie League involves about 1,200 kids in the metropolitan Toronto area. And we're glad you're here tonight. Hope you're having a great time. And yes, you are on TV. So welcome to the ballpark. Number 5 hitter Troy Tulowitzki. He has been called out on strikes twice tonight.
A lot of fastballs he has seen from his former teammate Jimenez.
Scope was on the third base side of second and airmails first base. Tulowitzki made a turn toward second and jumps over Wieters. What a play! You talk about improvisation. Wieters was going to beat him to the bag. But instead of stepping on the bag and tagging him, Wieters went to tag Tulowitzki, and he jumped right over the top of him.
So many things happened on this play. First of all, the shift, and it looked like it's going to be a base hit up the middle, but there's Scopey overthrows it. But Matt Wieters is hustling down that line to back up the play. He does it, recognizes he's going to be there, but look at Tulo. How about that for thinking on your feet?
Unbelievable. You just can't teach these moves. No. He made a turn towards second, so he's in play. But look at the reaction. He jumps right over Wieters. And Matt can't make a play.
Tries to tag him with his bare hand. Wow, what a play.
And Colabello gets a base hit. These two teams have gone back and forth all season long.
And that will probably get that bullpen going for the Baltimore Orioles. An error to start the inning, and then a single by Colabello. Buck Showalter, he's going to have a quick hook, I think, after his team scored 4 runs in the top of the inning.
You bet he will, especially given the way Jimenez has pitched in the second half. They've got a 4-run cushion. Blue Jays only have 4 hits, but Tulowitzki reaching on the air by Scope. Then Colabello hits the first pitch into center. And this lineup, much like the Orioles lineup, can strike at you anywhere in the batting order. Martin shows bunt, takes a ball. Jimenez has walked 5 to this point.
He has pitched around a lot of base runners tonight. Blue Jays have not been able to come up with that big hit. Looking for one right here.
Blue Jays have stranded 5. They've scored 2 runs and have 2 aboard. Ground ball. Flaherty goes to second for 1. Scope back to first. Double play. 2 outs. Well, we're going to talk about ball players and how they make adjustments on the fly. This is Wednesday. Josh Donaldson scoring on the sacrifice fly to second base, avoiding the tag. And then tonight,
baseball players, guys who can think on their feet, recognize a situation, and then determine how they are going to succeed. So which one's better? I think that one right there, that was the improvisation right there of Tulowitzki to get back.
Yeah, he didn't know where Wieters was going to be, and he just reacted to what he saw. Josh Donaldson knew where he was headed. He had to get to home. Ryan Goins with 2 outs and a runner at third. Borderline strike. And you can see Goins said that's up. It has been a generous strike zone all night.
Especially with that high strike. One more time, he strides into it. And can't believe that ball's called a strike.
When you're focused on a menace and all those splitters and low fastballs, you have a pretty good idea what a strike is upstairs. Going into a more dramatic shift now on a 2-1 pitch. And they throw it outside. That doesn't make any sense to me.
None at all. I mean, you got Ryan Goins, who's been spraying the ball all over the ballpark. 2-1, they shift, put 3 infielders on the right side, and they throw him an off-speed pitch away.
Now it's a full count. There are 2 outs. Tulowitzki still at third. Kevin Pillar, the number 9 hitter, would be next. Inside, Goins works Jimenez for a walk. That's 6 walks. And here comes Buck Showalter. He's already made the call to the bullpen. He couldn't wait any longer. Jimenez walked his way right out of this ball game. Michael Givens will come into the game. The right-hander will face Kevin Pillar with runners on the corners and 2 outs.
With a 22-day countdown to the last home game. Share your passion with hashtag 22 Days Blue Jays and let the celebration begin. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry Davis, as we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher into the game is the rookie Michael Givens, a second-round pick of the Orioles in 2009.
He was a shortstop between 2010 and 12. He converted to a pitcher that spring in 2013, and here he is in the big leagues. There are his numbers in 13 games. 22 strikeouts and just 2 walks for Givens. He's got a good fastball.
Kevin Pillar batting 9th tonight. That sidearm delivery is inside. A little sweeping breaking ball, and then it's out of the game. 5 2/3, just 4 hits allowed, but he walked 6. Breaking ball stayed inside and is pulled foul. Givens didn't start pitching until 2013.
For a shortstop, you see that good fastball and a slider. It's an improving changeup, and they like the idea that he's more of a side winder, making it very tough on right-handers.
Yeah, they've had a lot of success with side-arming right-handers. Darren O'Day is down in their bullpen, and he's been terrific.
He's a free agent after this year, so if they don't sign him back, maybe Givens takes over that role.
To the pitcher's mound. Givens gets out of it. The Blue Jays can't take advantage of an error and a base hit. They strand a pair. We head to the 7th. 6-2 Orioles. Blue Jays baseball partnership that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Beautiful evening here at Rogers Center, Labor Day weekend. Troy Tulowitzki getting on base, taking advantage of the air by the second baseman, and new pitcher into the game will be Ryan Cepeda.
Ryan got into 21 games earlier this season with the Blue Jays, and then he was sent down to the minor leagues at the beginning of August, but he showed very well when he was here. 0-1 with a 228 earned run average in 23 2/3 innings. He's got a good fastball slider. He can cut it and split it a little bit. He will get his first action since being recalled.
July 28th, the last time Cepeda pitched. That was right here at Rogers Center against the Phillies. He had a hitless inning of work. He threw the ball well. Caught in a numbers situation after they acquired LaTroy Hawkins and Mark Lowe. Went back to AAA. Adam Jones had a leadoff single in the 6th, and that opened up the floodgates as the Orioles would go on to score 4 runs that inning.
It was a good piece of hitting by Adam Jones to start that inning. Fastball away, and he was able to punch it into right field, setting the stages for this man right here, Chris Davis.
Cepeda hits Jones, and Adam will go to first. Trying to come inside. Jones hit the fastball away for a single his last time up.
And now that little two-seamer. Watch this ball, the side spin on it, trying to come in, and it hits Adam right in the ribs. Adam's ribs right there with that fastball. And now Buck Showalter is going to have something to say about that.
Buck Showalter came out. Remember, these two went back and forth early in the season. They've not played each other since June 21st. And of course, Bautista and Jones got into an argument. The umpire here, well, it was a warning before Davis got in. It wasn't at the action when Jones was at the plate. It was as Davis was getting in, they put the warning in place. And I think that's why Buck Showalter was upset.
Well, he's defenseless to do anything. Just like that happened to the Blue Jays earlier when they were warned after they got hit.
Buck Showalter now recognizing that they put the warning in place. He has to come out, and Tim Timmons, the first base umpire, the crew chief, said, Buck, we're taking it from here. They put the warning in place now. So if the umpires interpret a hit batter later on in this game to be intentional, they can eject the pitcher and the manager. Chris Davis, 2 home runs tonight. That gives him 40 for the season. That's significant because he becomes the first Oriole hitter with multiple 40 home run seasons. Now think about that.
Think of the great sluggers that they have had over the years.
Davis strikes out. That inside pitch catches the corner.
Like a high cutter right there. That freezes Chris Davis. He is now 2 for 4 with a couple of home runs.
The first Oriole with multiple 40 home run seasons. That's pretty impressive. Ground ball. Goins comes after it, and he bobbles it, and now he can't make a play. That's the first error committed by Goins since May 12th. He had been so consistent, and in his haste to get the ball to second to get the lead runner, he bobbled the ball.
He had plenty of chances here. First to go to second, then a chance to go to first base, and then eventually he just can't come up with it. He's got the ball in his glove. He's ready to make the play. Now this is where he messed right here. He just couldn't pick that ball up one more time.
So that puts the Orioles with runners at first and second, 1 out. Jonathan Scope has 2 hits already.
That is also his first error at second base since April the 21st.
Ground ball pulled foul.
And you know who that was against?
The Orioles.
The Baltimore Orioles.
This is his 54th start at second base. He's done a terrific job. And you can bet the infielders are wishing for a ground ball right here. Ryan Tepera started the inning. He hit Jones, struck out Davis, and then Wieters reached on an error. Fly ball to center. Jones going back to tag at second. Pilar makes the catch. He'll throw to second. Jones will advance. Wieters will hold at first.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
It's a big at bat right here for the Blue Jays. Jimmy Paredes with runners at the corners. Jays are down by 4. Paredes always hacking at that first pitch.
Yeah, be careful on that first one. That's why they threw him a breaking ball.
It's 6-2. I always like to keep it within a grand slam. They're down by 4. Popped up. Donaldson will head into foul territory after Tepera gets out of the inning. The error doesn't cost. Blue Jays are down by 4 as we head to the bottom of the 7th, top of the order. Revere, Donaldson, Bautista. Proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Chris Davis is on some kind of home run binge now for the Baltimore Orioles. This is going to be the first run of the game as he pops that ball to right field on an inside pitch from Drew Hutchison, and then they try to go outside in his next time up, and he powers the ball to left field. That's 40 home runs now for Chris Davis. And both of those are our drives of the games. Buck, you mentioned that he is the first Oriole batter to have 40 home run seasons. And the first guy who comes to mind is Frank Robinson, the great Hall of Famer, and he didn't do it.
Frank Robinson, Eddie Murray, Another great power hitter, Boog Powell. A lot of great names over the years, but Davis becomes the only Oriole to have multiple 40 home run seasons. Ben Revere, ball in the strike, and the Blue Jays need some base runners. Bottom of the 7th, they're down by 4. Michael Gibbons got a pretty good arm.
He's got a fresh arm. I told you he was a position player up until 2 years ago, 2013. This is his 3rd season as a pitcher. And you can see why. He's got some movement and some deception and good stuff.
96 with movement, and he tucks that shoulder and hides the ball very effectively. Revere hits it deep to left field. Pierce was in, but he's able to recover and make the catch. One down here in the 7th.
We talked about that earlier, that this team, the Orioles, really play Ben Revere very shallow in the outfield. So when a ball's hit to him, you can see he's getting twisted around a little bit. That ball slicing away from Pierce, but he stays with it to record the out. Pierce has played all over the infield and outfield for the Orioles this season.
Josh Donaldson had a sac fly in the 5th. That tied the score at 2-2 at the time. Inside pitch. Those ponchos are acknowledging the Twitter handle of Josh Donaldson, the bringer of rain. So they're anxious to see some rain here. Donaldson, 99 career home runs, 36 for the season. Off the end of the bat, Parra waits for it in right. 2 down here in the 7th. Jose Bautista has walked twice, officially 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Foul ball. Machado at short. Gibbons has retired all 4 Blue Jays he's faced since coming into the game.
Now you can vote for your favorite one with the Allstate Good Hands Defensive Play of the Year contest. One lucky winner will receive 2 tickets and the chance to throw out the ceremonial first pitch on Saturday, September 26th as the Blue Jays take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Round-trip airfare and hotel included. Contest closes Monday, September 14th. See BlueJays.com for full contest rules. I have a feeling Buck will see a lot of votes for something Kevin Pillar has done in the field this year.
Barry, I think there's a lot of candidates, certainly a lot of opportunities for Pillar. Troy Tulowitzki's made some very good plays. That would be a tough contest to jog your memory and go back and remember. How about the Goins catch in foul territory down the right field line, sliding into foul territory? Pillar, he's probably got the advantage. That catch he made in left field early in the season.
That's number one for me. Those are kind of like once a decade type of catches that you see from outfielders when they go up over a high wall and take away a home run.
Bo Schultz into the game. Pretty good looking pitch. Schultz last worked on Sunday against the Tigers. He threw 15 pitches in his 1-inning outing, allowed just 1 hit.
That was a leadoff double. He stranded him.
This is a mile-high pop-up. Tulowitzki and Goins, and Tulowitzki takes charge. One down. Let's check in with Jamie Camp, who's got an update for us. Bird has 14 ribbies as being called up, and it comes very timely for the Yankees with the loss of Mark Teixeira. Teixeira is on the disabled list. The Yankees, for the first time in a long time, producing some farmhand talent.
You could see why they didn't want to trade those guys. Brian Cashman, the general manager, had opportunities to pick up some veterans, but it would have cost him some of their young pitchers and players. Bird, one of them. Their starter tonight was one of them.
Severino starting tonight, allowed 1 run on 7 hits, 6 1/3. He's out of the game now. Odorizzi, the starter for Tampa Bay, allowed just 3 hits, but they were home runs. Gave up 5 runs on 3 hits, had 8 strikeouts. 3-0 to Ryan Flaherty. A 4-pitch walk. So the number 9 batter walks. That'll turn the lineup over, and Manny Machado will come to the plate for the 5th time tonight. The Orioles have used Machado in the leadoff spot, another unconventional leadoff hitter. 26 homers and 68 RBIs.
I asked Buck Showalter about that the last time we faced him. He said, who else should I hit? We don't have one of those automatic guys that you use as a leadoff hitter. Who else would you use? He's right. Makes a great argument. Manny Machado with one swing can get you up early in a ball game.
We have seen this with the Blue Jays and Tulowitzki when he was leading off, and it seems like the leadoff spot comes around all the time.
You said it. This is the 8th inning, and it's his 5th at-bat.
There's a drive to left. Revere back. It's over his head off the wall. Flaherty is headed for third. He's going to stop there, and Machado slides in with the double.
There you go. That's what he gives you from that leadoff spot. He can drive in runs. He can knock the ball out of the ballpark, and you want those guys to get those extra at-bats every night. The hanging breaking ball right there. Stays up, and Machado swings right through it on a line. He hits that ball off the wall. That's a line drive.
For Machado, that's his 28th double of the season. He picked up his 100th career double on Tuesday. Became the youngest Oriole to notch 100 career doubles. Infield is drawn in. That's a base hit. That's going to score 2. Gerardo Parra has just hit a 1-out, 2-run double. And the Orioles have taken an 8-2 lead. Back-to-back doubles here in the 8th.
Whole thing set up on a 4-pitch walk to the number 9 batter. Turn that lineup over. Machado comes up doubles, and then Parra, who's been swinging a hot bat himself, will pick up his first hit of the night. That's another breaking ball in the inner half, and he yanks it by the drawn-in infield.
(8-2) Baltimore. Adam Jones has 1 hit in 3 official at-bats. He was hit by a pitch in the 7th. And that drew a warning from home plate umpire Chris Siegel. Ball on a strike to the Orioles center fielder.
Probably going to be his last batter of the night with the left-handed hitting Davis on deck.
Jones drills it deep to center, and this one's going to go out. Adam Jones, a 2-run home run. You're told that Jones and Davis love hitting against the Blue Jays.
Well, you know what? He got hit last time right in the ribs, and you know how you get back? You hit a home run. Home run number 25 now for Adam Jones, and that's the 5th straight season he has hit at least 25 home runs for the Orioles. This is a 4-seam fastball right there. He's the first Oriole player ever to have 5 straight 25 home run seasons.
This is a no-doubter to the seats in center. That's the 4th Oriole home run of the night and gives the Orioles a 10-2 lead. Aaron Luke will come into the game to face Chris Davis. Since August 15th. That came right here at Rogers Center against the Yankees. And he draws a tough assignment, Chris Davis. Davis has hit 2 home runs tonight. He's driven in 3 runs.
There are the numbers for Aaron this year. 48 games for the Blue Jays. He got sent down for a couple of weeks, and then when rosters expanded, he is right back up here. He'll get to face Davis, who's had a big night.
Pulls it toward first. Colabella will grab it and step on the bank. Luke retires Chris Davis on a grounder. Matt Wieters, a switch hitter, about right-handed for the first time. Wieters went back-to-back with Davis in the 6th on consecutive pitches from Drew Hutchison. First pitch, changeup. Wieters batting .295 against left-handers compared to .245 against the right-handers. His home run in the 6th, just his 6th of the season. He has played in just 61 games now. Wieters and Justin Smoke played on the same high school team in South Carolina. Wieters went on to play college baseball at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Justin Smoke was a first-round pick of the Texas Rangers.
Sounds like a pretty good high school team.
Yeah, not bad, huh?
Both switch hitters, both power hitters.
Yeah, they probably put up some crooked numbers in high school. Off the end of the bat, Goins will wait on it. Luke retires the 2 batters he's faced here in the 8th. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Orioles have a 10-2 lead. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
This month to see the best 160 Canadian high school amateur baseball players with college eligibility. It's Tournament 12 presented by New Era and Roberto Alomar. It goes September 14th through the 18th. And for tickets, you can visit bluejays.com/T12. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. We're in the bottom of the 8th, crowd on hand and having a good time despite the score. Darren O'Day into the ball game after the rookie Michael Givens did a terrific job to retire all 4 batters he faced.
To get him to the safe inning, they'll turn it over to Darren O'Day. He's put up some more good numbers for the Baltimore Orioles. 5-2, 174 earned run average. Sinker slider comes from down under. Very rarely walks a batter. How about that strikeout to walk ratio, 65-12?
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good coming out of the pen.
Never gets himself into trouble. Edwin Encarnacion, he has gone 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Blue Jays have just 4 hits. Give you an idea how well the Blue Jays have played since the All-Star break. This is the first time since the All-Star break they've allowed more than 7 runs in a ball game. First time they've given up 10 runs since the 11-10 loss at Kansas City, last game of the first half before the All-Star break.
You know, it's not just the starters. The relievers have had the best earned run average since the All-Star break, and the best whip and the best opponent's batting average against since the All-Star break.
Conachon drills it to center. Jones got a good read off the bat, makes a running catch.
The all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
46,201 here in attendance. And it's expected that the Saturday, Sunday crowds will be sellout crowds. Well, it's been quite a run of full houses here for the Blue Jays recently, and why not? The club is playing great baseball. Troy Tulowitzki has gone 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Bounces this ball. Scope, the second baseman, makes the play. Scope committed an error last time Tulowitzki was up from a similar position on the field. He threw high to first.
On the shift, he was throwing from the shortstop position, a little bit longer throw than the second base throw, and pulled Davis off the bag.
Chris Colabello's had a perfect night. He's walked and had a couple of singles. Raised his average 4 points on the night. Jeff Francis is loosening up for the Blue Jays. This will be his first appearance since being recalled from AAA. Ball on a strike to the Blue Jays first baseman. Tomorrow, David Price will go to the mound for John Gibbons. He'll be opposed by a right-hander, Mike Wright. The Blue Jays faced Wright earlier in the season. He started here at Rogers Center on the 19th of June. That was the Marco Estrada great game where Estrada had a no-hitter into the 8th. Blue Jays scored 5 runs in the first 3 innings against the Orioles and held on to win at 5-4. See the similarities we talked about with Gibbons and Darren O'Day. Same type of delivery, although Gibbons throws a little bit harder than O'Day.
Throws a little bit harder, doesn't have as much sink on that fastball that O'Day has. O'Day's a good pitcher, very underrated. He likes to elevate that fastball when he gets to 2 strikes.
There it is. Wieters wanted that ball upstairs, and O'Day just missed outside. But that is counterintuitive of his delivery. Everybody's looking down, 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 and then he elevates that fastball and surprises the hitters.
And for the most part, it is down. Sinker, slider, and he can elevate.
Big sweeping breaking ball missed. It's a full count. Russell Martin, he singled in his first at bat, and he followed that up with grounding into 2 double plays, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th. That's a little looper that's going to drop for a base hit. Caro over to play it off the wall. Colabello will get to second with a slide. A 3-hit game for Chris Colabello.
Colabello's been on base all 4 times tonight. That is called plate coverage right there. And this is why he's hitting .323 coming into this game. Slider, 3-2 down and away, and he's able to keep that ball fair Just poke it down the right field line for extra bases.
16th double for Colabello to go along with those 13 home runs. 29 extra base hits. Russell Martin 1 for 3, as we mentioned. The Sunday pitching matchup in the series finale, Chris Tillman, the right-hander, will go to the mound for the Orioles. Mark Burley, looking for his 15th win, will pitch for the Jays. And then the Jays will hit the road. It'll be 3 in Boston, including a Labor Day Monday afternoon game against the Red Sox. Then into Yankee Stadium.
Probably the biggest road trip of the Blue Jays this season. 10 days, 11 days, 10 games.
Russell Martin with a base hit through the right side. They're going to stop Colabello. Martin with his second hit of the night. That next road trip will wind up in Atlanta. 3 games against the Braves. Marcus Stroman will more than likely be added to this roster sometime in Boston. He will pitch Monday for the Buffalo Bisons, and then if that goes well, you would expect he would be added to this roster.
He was asked what kind of program he is on, and he said, I'm on my 5-day. I'm using it now just like I would if I was pitching in June or July. Every 5th day I'm going to go to the mound. I'm going to do my side work like he did today, take a couple of days off, and then pitch in a ball game, start a ball game.
Ryan Goins, a couple of walks tonight. He's officially 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice. He's been on base all 3 times. O'Day pitched on Wednesday. Ryan Goins is becoming very popular. Fouls that one off his foot.
I don't know what foot he got. It might have been the back foot, Buck. That slider. They teach pitchers when they want to get a swing and miss to throw that sweeping breaking ball to the back foot. And Ryan swings and fouls it right off that back foot.
One and two, 2 outs. Goins stays alive.
Well, you can see why it's so tough to hit a ball square against Darren O'Day. He can make the ball do so many different things. Sinks it at that slider. If you're a left-hander and he throws that slider, you don't want to try and pull it.
Winfield wants noise from the World Series years, and this has been a noisy place. Tonight they haven't had much to cheer about. Boy, Goins been very selective and patient. 2 walks already tonight. And he picked up a stolen base in the second. His second stolen base of the season. Kevin Pillar waits on deck.
Those fastballs are up there for a reason. O'Day, we told you got that sinker slider, but there's another elevated fastball. He'll also backdoor that breaking ball to the lefties.
Look at how the shortstop is playing in line with Jones, and the second baseman's in line with the right fielder. Boy, there's some kind of gap right past the umpire. Breaking ball going, caught looking at strike 3. So the 8th inning comes to an end. The Blue Jays get a pair of hits, but strand 2 will go to the 9th. The Orioles with a big lead. Jeff Francis into the ball game. That's the president of the Blue Jays, Mr. Paul Beeson, sitting front and center in the first row. Certainly a very appropriate picture for this being his last season with the ball club, and that's a classic picture. And the leader right in the middle next to the manager, John Gibbons.
Hoping to make it a special season. New pitcher for the Blue Jays, Jeff Francis, will get his first work since being recalled from the minor leagues. Francis was up early with the Blue Jays, got into 8 games. He was 1-2 with a .675 earned run average. He appeared in 19 games for the Buffalo team. He made 14 starts for him and pitched very effectively. Everybody knows Francis. He's been around for a long time.
Big breaking ball in there for a strike to Jonathan Scope. Francis is now 34 years old. Of course, he went to high school in North Delta, BC. Graduated from the University of British Columbia. First round of the Colorado Rockies in 2002. On the ground, Tulowitzki, his former teammate, helps him out. 1 down. Jeff Francis and Tulowitzki were together in that magical season in Colorado, 2007. Francis won a game in the NLDS, won a game in the NLCS, and took a loss at the hands of the Red Sox when they were swept 4 straight. Pinch hitter coming off the bench for the Orioles, batting for Jimmy Paredes is Junior Lake. Good slow curveball.
Lake just added to the roster today. Jeff Francis, you mentioned all the years that he has spent in the big leagues. Veteran guy, he's not going to get, freaked out because of a pennant race. He's been there before. He could be a valuable guy pitching out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays. They needed another left-hander, I thought, as they play some of these American League East teams with all the big left-handed hitters. Davis, Ortiz, James Loney, some of the big hitters. He might be a valuable guy for him to get outs in the middle of the game.
Brian McCann.
Oh, yeah, how could I forget about him?
Yeah, he could be a guy you could use in Yankee Stadium for a McCann at bat middle of the game. And Francis catches that outside corner. 2 up, 2 down. Well, the Blue Jays are wrapping up this long homestand. You can see it's been a good homestand. They won 2 of 3 against the Indians after sweeping the Tigers, and now they have the Orioles in here. Looks like they go down to the Orioles in game 1, but then they will head out on the road. 3 in Boston, 4 in New York, 3 in Atlanta.
And then come home for their last homestand of the season. Hard to believe.
That should be an interesting homestand with the Blue Jays here at Rogers Center. Slow breaking ball lifted into center. Pilar is on the run. He'll get there. Good inning for Jeff Francis. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth.
Store, J-Shop is Canada's official team shop for your Toronto Blue Jays, bringing together the largest selection of Blue Jays products anywhere. Visit us online at jshop.ca, and you may want to go that route sometimes because it can get awfully busy down in the J-Shop, but there is such a great selection of products to look at, Buck.
You know what? Just about anything you can think of they have available in that J-Shop, so you want to make sure you check it out. We're at the bottom of the ninth. The Orioles have a 10-2 lead. The Blue Jays have 6 hits, 2 runs. Number 9 hitter Kevin Pilar. He's gone 1 for 3 tonight, and he'll be facing a new pitcher, Oliver Drake, into the ball game.
6 games this season for Drake. This is his 3rd stint with the Orioles. He was recalled from AAA Norfolk. That was on September the 1st when rosters expanded. He had 23 saves in the minor leagues. This guy's a former 43rd round draft pick for the Baltimore Orioles back in 2008.
The reason he was drafted so low is he went to the U.S. Naval Academy. So, of course, there's a service commitment. You take a shot. And sure enough, he came back to pro ball, and he's here in the big leagues. Ball on strike. Pilar hooks it past Louis Rivera, foul. Drake has spent 8 seasons in the minors, including this year at AAA Norfolk. He got into 42 games, and he had a terrific run in AAA. 16 walks, 66 strikeouts, and an earned run average of 0.82. That would warrant a call-up.
That certainly would. 23 for 23 in save opportunities in AAA. He was also voted the best pitcher in the the Eastern League last year, which is AA.
Millar's hanging tough. As we mentioned earlier, this is the first time the Blue Jays have given up 10 runs since the last game before the All-Star break. That was in Kansas City. They lost that game 11-10, and that was a real back-and-forth battle.
That was a back-breaker. Anytime you score 10 runs, you got to win, right? They ended up losing that game on a walk-off home run.
Little blooper near second, and that's going to be a base hit. Leadoff single for Pilar. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central. Here's Jackie Redmond and Ken Reed. Thank you very much, Jackie. That's all coming up right after this ball game. They'll break down the Yankee game in New York. Break down the U.S. Open. Lots going on, so make sure you stay tuned and check it all out. Ben Revere 0 for 4. He's grounded out twice and flied out twice. Josh Donaldson has driven in one of the two Blue Jays runs. High fastball. Revere strikes out. The Orioles scored first. They scored 2 runs in the second. Chris Davis hit a solo home run. Brian Flaherty had an RBI double. Blue Jays counted that with a run of their own in the second. Blue Jays tied it up in the 5th on that Donaldson sac fly. And then a 4-run 6th and a 4-run 8th for the Orioles, and that's where we stand here with 1 out in the 9th.
Blue Jays have left 9 runners on base. They've had 7 hits. They just haven't come up with hits with runners on base tonight.
Blue Jays are 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. A couple of tough double plays early in the game. Russell Martin in the 4th and in the 6th grounded into double plays. Blue Jays lost the first game of the Cleveland series, only to come back and win the final 2 games to win that series 2-1. They have played so well, everybody expects them to win every single night.
Doesn't happen that way, does it?
Not at all, especially in this month. We're going to have some very tight games rest of the way. Donaldson strikes out. 2 strikeouts for Drake. The Orioles and the Blue Jays will play 6 more games after this game tonight. Of course, the Blue Jays will play the Yankees 7 times, the Red Sox 6 times, and Tampa Bay 6 times. Tough competition.
Yeah, they get the Orioles 4 big games the last week of the season. And when you play in the American League East, you know, nothing like beating the opposition, knocking each other out of the playoff race.
Bautista takes strike 1. The Blue Jays are down 10-2. The last time they lost by 8 or more runs, April 24th. Tampa Bay beat them 12-3. So it's been a long time since they've taken a loss like this. Bautista hits it off the glove of the third baseman. Machado gets it and still makes a throw to first. Flaherty tipped it. Machado dove for it, got to his feet, and made a throw on line to first base.
Boy, I didn't think they had any chance at that ball. It's going to go as an infield hit for Jose Bautista. Jose's first hit of the night. Flaherty, the third baseman, gets glove on it, and then backed up by Machado, who dives and then comes to his feet. Still thinks he has a shot. They're going to play all the way to the end.
Absolutely, they are. You mentioned what a good fielding club they are. They have been charged with 2 errors here tonight. 57 for the season. That's the fewest in the major leagues. Encarnacion takes the first pitch strike. Way outside, ball on the strike. We mentioned the 2 errors early in the game in the second inning. The shortstop Machado was charged with an error on a throw that got away at first base that allowed Colabello to score. That has since been changed to the pitcher. Ubaldo Jimenez was covering first and he couldn't make the play. So take an error away from Machado, and that's the right call.
Yeah, you were all over that. They must have been listening to you, and it is right. It is the right call.
Jimenez was standing at the bag and just couldn't handle the throw.
Yeah, it was a catchable ball.
Jimenez in line for the win. He went 5 2/3, allowed 2 runs, 1 earned run on 4 hits. He walked 6, and he was really walking a tightrope. Blue Jays have stranded 9.
He made good pitches when he had to against the Blue Jays with those runners on base.
Encarnacion will take ball 4. Bases are loaded. Troy Tulowitzki will come to the plate. 7 walks for the Blue Jays tonight. They continue to build that number. Not exactly what Buck Showalter had on his mind here in the 9th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Strike 1. Oh, and 2. Jays down to their final strike. One and 2. Reminder, tomorrow afternoon it'll be David Price going to the mound for the Blue Jays against Michael Wright for the Orioles.
Pre-game show starts a half hour earlier. It'll start 12 o'clock Eastern time.
A full hour pre-game show. Now it's 2 and 2. Tulowitzki strikes out, and that's the ball game. The Orioles win the opener of this 3-game series 10-2, and the Blue Jays just couldn't cash in when they had runners on base early in the game.
Yeah, they'll end up leaving 12 runners on base tonight. They had 7 walks, they had 8 hits, but they just couldn't come up with the key base hit. And now that lead is down to a half a game to the Yankees.
It's going to get interesting in this month of September. The Blue Jays playing great baseball. Lose to the Orioles tonight. Chris Davis with a pair of home runs. Stay tuned. Sportsnet Central. Here's Jackie Redmond and Ken Reed.